So, this is probably really loud. I don't know. I'm using my camera. But, so I'm going to show you how to unknit live. When I get further down here when I'm knitting, I found out that I messed up somewhere. And I'm not exactly sure where. So, I'm going to have to unknit too, because I can't figure it out quite yet. I think I figured it out, but I'm just going to unknit. But for now, I just got it. Let me try and focus. Yeah, that's about the best it's going to get. I just knit from here to here so I could show you how to unknit. So, basically, all you're doing is you're doing everything in reverse. Let me try and back up a little bit so it stays in focus. So obviously when you knit a stitch, you go in and up, and then you wrap your yarn around, and you bring it through, and you slide it off. So when you unknit, if you can see, let me move this so that's out of the way. You can see there's this little hole right there. That hole. And you can see where it is if you look. Let me try and focus. You would think for being such an expensive camera, it would be so much better than this. Okay, I think that's the best it's gonna get. Let me get something pointy. So if you look, you can see where the stitch is on your needle. But then you can see where your working yarn goes through that, which is right in there. So what I'm gonna do to unknit that stitch, God, I hope this helps. If it'll focus, is I'm gonna go through that hole right there, because that's where my working yarn's through. So I'm gonna go through that hole right there, and then just kind of slide that stitch up off the needle, and then pull my working yarn, and I just unknit that stitch, and that's exactly how it was before I knit it. So if you kind of pull your needles apart, you can see the holes, and I'm gonna go into that topmost hole that you can kind of see. This is hard because I'm trying to do it while looking through the camera to make sure it's focused. So I stick my needle through it, pull the stitch off, and pull that out. And that's just, you know, unknitting a knit stitch. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. This one's a little bit easier to see because there's just one hole. So I'm going to go through there, pull the stitch up without letting the one behind it fall off, pull out the yarn, and it's over here. Now this is where I had a yarn over, so I'm just going to move the yarn to the back where it belongs. And I really wish I could get a close-up for you. Let's see. I'm gonna mess with this and see if I can get a close-up. Or if I adjust the lens. Okay, kind of better. Pointy object. So in this one, if you're looking at it, let me back up a little bit. Oh, it's so hard to see. If I pull my working yarn, I can see where it's coming through. And that's right there. That little hole. That hole right there. Stick my needle through, push it down, get the stitch off, pull it. Now the same thing with that one, the uppermost hole. Stick it in, pull it down, pull it through. Alright, now here is how you unknit the slip one, knit two together, pass slip stitch over. So what you're gonna do is get your stitches a little bit closer to the edge of the needle than you normally would, but without making sure they fall off, you know. So that's the stitch. This right here is the one that I slipped over. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put it back on the needle just in reverse. So it's back where it was before I slipped it over, passed it over. Now in this one you did a knit two together. So you see that teeny tiny hole right there. Go through that, but make sure that you get both the stitches that you would knit together. And pull that out. Pull the yarn. And then if you notice, your working yarn isn't on that stitch because that's the stitch that you just slipped. It's on this one. So with this one, you don't have to unknit it. You just slide it back to the opposite needle. So now I'm just going to quick go through the rest of these and then I'll show you how to unknit a purl. I know it seems tedious, but it's really sometimes better, in my opinion, than pulling the yarn out of the whole entire row and then possibly ending up with slipped, you know, twisted stitches. I think I'm probably going to have to stick this on YouTube because I think it's going to be too long for Facebook. Alright, so normally I can do it quicker than that. It's just that I'm trying to work around my camera right now. So right now, we're at the beginning where you would start knitting this row. Now what you want to do is you want to flip it so that the wrong side's facing you as if you had just finished purling your row. Sorry, this is going all wonky on me. Okay. So here's the needle in your right hand, as if you had just finished purling the wrong side row. I had to take a sip of tea. My mouth's dry. Okay. Apparently I have 9 minutes left to record. My camera's telling me. Alright. So to unknit a purl, it's basically the same exact thing as unknitting or tinking a knit stitch. You look. If it helps, you can pull your knitting down. You find the hole. You stick it in. Pull it out. Oh wait, these are still knit ones. Pull it out, there you go. Pull it out, there you go. Alright, so those were 3 knit stitches. Forgot about those. Alright, so purl stitches. How you do these ones. This is the yarn over from the previous row, so it's going to look a little bit different. So you go from front to back, slide the yarn off, pull it, and then you're left with the rest of these. And then all you do is the same, except when you're unknitting the knit stitches, you go from behind and do it. Whereas with the purl stitches, you go right there. Can you see that? Here's my working yarn. Let me try and pull this tight. And then you go in. My stitches are a little too tight on the needle, too far apart. Pull it out, pull your working yarn, and then you go on to the next one. Go under that stitch, pull the yarn up, pull it out, up, yarn out, pull it down. Let's see if I can get even closer just so you can really see. Okay, that might be a little bit better. Excuse my grody nails. So that's what it looks like when you're looking at it. And this, again, working yarn. Oh, see, there we go. You can kind of see it from the side. It's a little bit blurry. So, stick it in, slide it off, pull your yarn down. Go up through, pull it up, pull it out. Go up through, out, up. Sometimes it's easier on the purl stitches if you hold the yarn, the working yarn, up, because then it kind of opens up that area that you're going to want to go into. So you go like that, slip that stitch off, and pull your yarn. I hope this helps.